Hello, everybody. We are back again. We are the authors of Revealing and Healing, Three Women's Stories of Survival. Wait a minute. It's on only for me. Hold on. Let's make it public. All right. Here we go. We are live again. Hello and good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I feel like we're a little pixelated. Somebody let us know if you can see us. It looks like it's coming in now. Looks like it's coming in. Slowly but surely. I am Delina Hill Brooker. We have Anjanita Williams and Rasha Hoosier. Say hello, ladies.
Hey y'all, we back. We back. We back. We back. We back.
We are back. Yes.
They left me by myself last week. I don't know who told them to do that. That's what they did. And so they decided to get a little fun in the sun, and I was here holding down the fort. I ain't mad. I ain't jealous a little bit that y'all didn't have to cook and clean after nobody for a whole week. I wasn't in my feelings and nothing. I wasn't even like side-eye twitching and nothing like that. I'm cool. I'm cool. Twitching. I went on a cruise last year, so I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm be all right. Okay.
Yep, and you might go on one this year. Hey, you never know.
Hey, we never know where we're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
So, we see some people watching, so we need you to comment so that we can see who you are and know that you are here with us. And also, go ahead and share this video while we're watching live so your friends can also join in the conversation. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
We are very happy to all three be back with you again this week.
Absolutely.
We've been having a wonderful time with you guys here each week during our weekly sessions, dates, whatever you want to call it. So we hope that you are enjoying it as much as we are as well. I see you, Courtney. Hey, Courtney.
And I'm just sharing to my page. If you guys see me looking down, I'm just sharing to my page real quick.
Courtney says, hey, y'all. Hey, Courtney.
Hello, Courtney.
That's my best friend.
Hey, Courtney.
So, hey, Pamela. That's my cousin, Pamela. Hey, girl. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Appreciate that. We appreciate everyone because we want to know what you guys think.
Exactly. So,
share, comment.
Absolutely. So we have been discussing our book, Revealing and Healing, Three Women's Stories of Survival. And we have put together a visual series. And because last week it was just me by myself, I went ahead and posted all of the videos that we've done, just in case you've missed something. I posted it on the Lioness Vizions page, so you wouldn't have problems finding it on our individual pages. So everything is in order on the Lioness Vizions Facebook page as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go and see it there. Or you can go to YouTube or lionessvisions.net. Everything is easily accessible. So we hope that you can catch up if you've missed anything, any of the videos, any of the visual series. There's original music to all of the stuff that we're doing too as well. So we hope that you are enjoying it and give us feedback. So
absolutely.
We appreciate that. We've also given shots out to people who have helped us do the visual series and everything. So Chandra Southern, B&B Fish and Wings, and we'll have more because it took a lot of people to pull that thing on off. So let's do a quick recap. The last time that we did the Revealing and Healing conversation, we had Anjanita and my bestest old friend. See, Courtney's my best friend. Olita's my bestest old friend. We were, I don't know if I like this thing. Some of the video is not coming through clear. But I think they can hear us, so maybe it's just showing online because I'm streaming. Anyway.
Mine, it looks fine. It looks fine on mine. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Right.
Well, we talked about chapter 2 in our book, and Anjanita read part of it. So I just want to recap real quick. It talked about some things that she witnessed as a child, dealing with witnessing domestic violence. So, Angel, since that was and I always call her Angel instead of Anjanita because.
Right. That's how we know her, guys.
That's my friend. So.
That's how I know you know me. That's how I know how well you know me.
Right.
The name that you use.
Everybody can't just call her Angel. I learned that this week.
No, you have to be specific person to call.
Yes.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky.
Well, in witnessing, I can honestly say that despite all the things that we all have gone through and the things that that I went through, I think everything kind of I could have turned into a different type of person witnessing the things that I did. But I'm glad I turned away from that. I'm glad that I became the person that I am. And being a victim, okay, first I was a witness, and then I was a perpetrator, and then I was a survivor. So I kind of went through all of those stages of domestic violence. And I'm here to say that I'm really done with that part of my life. If I get any kind of red flags about anything, I'm out the door. And I try to hold that on to not just my daughter, but you know, anyone else that I go through. I do domestic violence education, so it's very, very important for me to let my clients know that I've been where you are. Number one, I understand what you're feeling, and this is how you go about your healing process. And these are some of the things that you would need to do. I do find often that some people just do not, they don't think it's as bad as it is. And they think it's going to get better, which is common in domestic violence situations. And for people who, I'm just like, you know, there's really nothing I can do until you understand like the things that you're going through and how it's not going to get any better. I say a prayer and I keep trying to work with them to let them see that it's not going to be what they think it's going to be. So if anyone is out there that's in the situation, has been through the situation, there are different places where you can go to receive your help for that, because it's very important that first of all, you're worth more than that, and you are worthy of not or mentally or emotionally abused. You're worth more than that. And if there's anything I had to take away from that, is that sharing my story actually showed me that I was indeed a victim, as opposed to that's just how life was. And with that realization, I was able to turn from victim to survivor. So I just want to drop those little tidbits and hope that if you are in a situation, you can inbox me on Facebook, Angelita Williams, and I can point you in the right direction to where you can actually receive some assistance. That's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Absolutely. Marsha, I know you had missed it, but I know you watched it. Did you have anything to add about that?
Oh, yeah. Always. You know I have to have something to add. You know that.
You would never have something to say.
First of all, I want to say Alita was very good. I loved her being there. What she said, she added a lot of value to the conversation. I want to talk about the domestic violence part first, and I'll talk about the father part that she added, just to stay on page with Angel. So Angel was talking about the domestic violence. I work with women as well who have been through it. I've been through it as well. I didn't see it growing up, but I did experience it, and then I became an abuser and just a real violent person because of that situation. And I know a few women who are right here on Facebook, right here on our pages right now, who are going through domestic violence. And I want you to know that you are worth more. Please get out of the situation. I'm going to just say it, listen, plain out, just like we wrote the book. There is no sexual experience. There is no financial gratification. There's no, you don't want to be in the bed at night by yourself. None of that is worth getting abused or being abused. You're not helping your children, keeping the family together. Matter of fact, you're showing them more dysfunction. To this day, my daughter, if you slam a cabinet or if you slam something, she will get just like this, because that's what she saw. And she remembers every single thing. At 23 years old, she remembers everything. So when you think they don't know or you think they don't see her, oh, I hurt my head when I ran into a wall. Absolutely not. There is no man, no relationship, nothing like that worth you being abused. You are not a punching bag, and that is not love. And then what Alita was talking about and you guys was talking about was very, very good. The father, when you guys were talking about your dads. So for me, My father was, I saw him on the weekend. He was a good father. He did the best he could. But my problem was that, again, we bring up the Cosby Show life. When I saw the Cosby Show, that's what I wanted my life to be like. And actually, that drove me up until my first marriage and staying and all this and that. So I was like, well, why am I over here and my brothers and my dad and my stepmom are over there? I want to be with my dad too. I want to have a mom and a dad. I don't care if it's a stepmom or not. I want to be in the house with two parents. And like Olita said, and like you said, Delina, people from the outside think, well, everything's perfect because you have a mom and dad. That's exactly what I thought about any family that had a mom and dad. That's what I thought about it. And so I was angry with my dad for a little while. I don't think he even knew, just because I was like, why isn't he with my mom? Why doesn't he want to live with us? But as I grew up, I understood that my mom and him, they weren't going to be together. Now, my mom, when I say never, she never bashed my dad. She never said anything rude about him. She never said anything, period, ever, that was rude about him. So I would go over there on the weekends, and that was our relationship. And then as far as it's growing now, like our relationship is so great now because he's a great grandfather too. So he became when I tell y'all, anytime I call, can you watch my kids? Yep, bring them over. My mom had the kids at the last minute, bring them over. What's Trey doing? Bring them over. My dad never said no ever when I asked him. So he is a great grandfather, and our relationship now is very strong. And I hope that Angel, you and Alita have the chance to now have those strong bonds with your dads. All I'm going to say about that. I would knock your father right out, Delina. But the rest of you guys, I hope that you can get those relationships together. And to me, being honest, like, listen, I didn't like you. Listen, you did this and this and this. Right. I remember. Can you at least admit it so we can move forward? And some people won't. Some people don't like to sit with what they did as parents.
Right.
And so that's my 2 cents. I really enjoyed watching the show last week. I really thought Alita was a very strong person to have on the show. I liked her dynamic with you on the show, with you two on the show.
Well, I thought it was a great conversation as well. And they brought up points that I never saw because I started in a 2-parent household, but for the majority of it, it was just my mom. So it was different to see the dynamics. And plus, that's something that I've never dealt with before. Like, so, I mean, that whole topic, that's something so foreign to me. That'd be like me and my husband having 5 wives. Like, what? Who does that?
Right.
That doesn't,
right.
That was never a whole thought in my mind. Just like some people, what I've gone through, that's what happens?
Right.
That's why I'm so protective of my children, because stuff like this happens. So it just shows how different things can affect you for later on in your life.
Right,
so
exactly.
Well, let's get into our topic for this week. It is a deep topic. All of them are deep, especially the first chapters.
Yes.
The first set of chapters. I'm trying to think. The second set of chapters are deep too. Yeah. But the first set are really the foundation.
Right.
So it's a little bit deeper than the second. So this week I'm going to be doing some reading from the 3rd chapter, entitled "Poor Little Rich Girl." That's my title because that's what I felt like. That was my reality, really. So I know Rosh is gonna cuss and she's gonna make all kinds of faces when I read this part because she always does.
Okay, I'll try not to. Let me try. Okay, go.
Okay, so this is part of my first chapter. I used to wake up before the crack of dawn every morning. I would play in my room until someone else woke up to keep me company. But this morning was different. Just thinking about it, I get a lump in the back of my throat, just like I did that day. Although I was very young, no matter how hard I've tried to forget, I will always remember. My father walked into my room, kneeled down, and kissed me. But it wasn't a normal kind of kiss. It was on the lips, no tongue, but just different from a kiss from a father to his daughter. Now that I'm older, I'd say that it was a more passionate kiss. I was confused because it just didn't feel right. I got that uh-oh feeling in my stomach. That's my dad, and he would never do anything to hurt me, right? He wore a burgundy crushed velvet robe that was halfway tied around his waist. As he kissed me, he opened his robe and exposed himself. He was naked underneath. I thought nothing of it, really. I had seen him naked on a few occasions, but more by accident. or not. I remember I used to peek through the crack in the door sometimes when he would pee. But I was curious as why he could stand up and pee and I couldn't. I don't ever think he saw me, or did he? Was it my fault? Because he saw me looking at him? He laid me on the floor and he was shaking. I was nervous. Why was he shaking? He fondled me with his fingers and made me give him oral sex, and did the same to me. He masturbated till he came. He put it in his hand and said, "Dream, this is our secret, okay? You can't tell anyone." Okay, I thought to myself, fighting back the tears. And I didn't even know why I wanted to cry. Why is it so hard to swallow this big lump in my throat? And even though I didn't know what we did, I would keep his secret. Why wouldn't I? He was my father, and I loved him. So in previous live conversations, I've talked about my ability to hold secrets. And for the most part, from really what I can remember, this was my very first secret. Now, I'm sure I probably had to keep a secret about, don't tell mama we bought some flowers or something like that. But this was my first real secret. And it was something, the way he said it, the actions that happened before it, the whole newness and the awkwardness of it. I knew I absolutely had to keep that secret. There was no secret that I had to keep the secret. It was just like, he didn't threaten me. I can't even explain the fear. It was an unspeakable fear because physically, he never hurt me. And we talked about that before too. And he had never hurt me before, but outside of getting a whooping. He was always a very loving father. He was always caring. He was a great provider. He was a great giver. He was a when I tell you he was the perfect gentleman, he was two people, and not everybody saw that monster side. That other side was a monster. It ain't no other way around it. He was just a monster. And looking back, and now that I've been through counseling and done research and read other people's books and their accounts, now I realize that all those instances that I just said and those things, like seeing him peeking through the door and stuff like that, he was grooming me. And that's what predators do. They will groom you to make it feel like it is okay or this is normal. So it's not a big shock.
Right.
So he can gain, I trusted him with everything because why wouldn't I? But to gain trust with something like this, and I was about 4 or 5 years old. No one ever had the good touch, bad touch talk with me yet because I hadn't even started school. I was still at home with my parents. I didn't go to daycare because my mom was at home. I think she was working part-time. Matter of fact, she was working part-time at the time. So he would stay home with me while she was at work. And that's when it would happen. So why would they have to have the talk with me if I never left the house? I never left from their care. So, and every time I have to go there, every time I think about it, anytime something triggers me, I still get that lump. I'll never get a lump in the back of my throat. But when I think, when that right there, and it's like, you cannot swallow, it just takes me right back there. And I kind of think I would have preferred physical pain because I can relate with that. That hurts because I didn't feel hurt, but I was hurt. I didn't know I was hurt until years later. This is why I'm acting out. But I think that the physical pain would have been easier. I'm saying this because this was not my experience.
Right.
But a connection with, because I had nothing to connect it with. And when I was going through counseling, when everything started going down, they were like, well, we can't let him hurt you. I'm like, he didn't hurt me. So what are you talking about? So that was really, really confusing to me. And I have really, what happened to Angel? She's coming back. Hold on a sec. I have,
There we go.
I don't see her yet.
I can see her.
Angel, you here? You can see her?
I
Okay.
can.
Okay. I have really, really hard times trusting people. Like I have really bad trust issues, and I have I don't do well with betrayal, like at all, because for me, and this is just because this is my experience, it's not true for everyone or every instance. This was the worst type of way to betray me because you're my front line. You're the one supposed to protect me from everything. Right. And this is what you did. And then you groomed me and you purposely put me in a position because you knew I woke up early every morning. You know, like you did that on purpose. Mm-hmm. And then this is our secret, okay? And then you go to church and you're a deacon.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have really bad trust issues because of that. I'm halfway crazy because of that. Yeah. I just compose it really well, but I mean that's just part of my story. So, Rasha, I know you want to comment. Go ahead. You can take it away.
So the first thing I think, first of all, it makes me so angry. It doesn't matter how many times I hear the story. I ball my fist up. I keep my hands down so you guys wouldn't see it. But because my first thing is, okay, I try to come from this spot. What happened to him? Do we know what happened to him? What happened to him? Do you know? Is there anything you know of? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Because I think that people are inherently good. When they're born, they're inherently good. They go off into the world. They're little kids, whatever happens. And I always think when someone does something like this, what happened to you? Not that that is an excuse, but what happened to you? Because, of course, we have similar story. I was molested as well. And just like you talked about, and I think the last video or the one before, when people think that because you're molested, you're going to molest somebody else. We haven't molested anybody else, and we were molested. So what is your excuse? Did somebody mess with him when he was little? If they did, didn't he understand what happened to him mentally because of that? And what I've learned recently is when you're molested before your brain is fully formed, 4 or 5 years old, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for women, most of the time, it messes with your psyche. It does make you crazy. It does make you, I mean, you really go nuts. I think the good thing about you is, though, you told. And so my question is, what made you tell? Because I don't even think we addressed that even in the book. Maybe we did. What made you? Did someone else tell? Okay, somebody else told, and one of the siblings.
No,
right?
No. I just one day I told me and my sister, my older sister, we were going to sleep. We shared a room, and I just told her.
Okay.
I was like, guess what happened?
Yeah.
And I was like, something, and I called it peanuts or something. And he never said that. That's something that I heard at school.
Okay.
Or like, because I didn't say anything until the 3rd grade.
Right.
So I think that was like the nicknames that kids were using, you know, like
exactly
nuts or whatever like that. And I was just like, yeah, it's peanuts. And my sister was like, what?
Right.
And she was like, no, you have to tell. And so then one day I just went in the room and I told my mom, and she was just like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And then the next day when I went to school, they took me.
Yeah, that's the part I remember. My old memory. Yeah. That's the part I remember, the school situation. So I was like, did you tell somebody at school? No, they just came and got you from school once it was reported. Right. Okay. So I always think at least you told, which is some strength, because you were able to get help, therapy, counseling, all that. So that, and it helped.
Yeah, but I still didn't tell for years. I didn't tell till I was in the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
It had been happening since I was like 4 or 5. So really, technically, it's almost all that I knew.
Yeah.
Right.
So
my thought is just what happened to him. And again, like I always say about Delina, she's the strongest woman I know, because for me, it wasn't my dad. But if it had been, I think I would be in the crazy house right now, because I'm this close to the crazy house right now anyway. So therefore, I'm like, and then me being the way I am, I always want to hurt somebody physically. So I want to hurt you physically now that I'm grown, because you can't punk me because I'm a grown woman. I can get a gun permit now. But the fact that your dad went to jail, prison, is another thing that I feel like at least he went to prison for what he did.
Right.
At least that happened, but it changed your life forever. Do you think you would have been more trusting? Would you have been? You know what I mean? Because we meet people all the time who trust people, and I'm like, really? I don't know about that person. Who's that man? Who's that talking to my kid? No, my kid's not going to a sleepover. It ain't happening. I don't know you. Nope. But other people, we seem abnormal to those people.
Right.
Yeah.
So it makes me angry every time. I wish that we knew what happened to him. Not that it would matter. It wouldn't really matter.
No.
It
Go ahead,
doesn't matter. I mean, there's
Well, I
there's
think
never an excuse. Go ahead,
it's
Angel.
up to her. The cycle stopped.
Yeah.
It ended.
Yeah.
And I think even though we would want to know what happened to him, at this point, I don't really care what happened to him because the cycle has stopped.
Right.
Nobody else is getting hurt.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
True.
it's not being passed down from generation to generation to generation.
Mhm.
You know, it stopped with her, and she was able to be a more, I'm not going to say, well, I could say hyper vigilant, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
it.
I would necessarily call it hyper vigilant.
Mhm.
More aware parent,
Okay.
and be more cautious about the people that you allow around your children.
Right.
And you know, always have that eye out to make sure that nobody's being appropriate or inappropriate with them. So I think even though it would be okay to see them, to see, you know, how the whole thing started within his mind,
Right.
and the things that may have happened. But I think the bigger thing is that it ended.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I
When you
mean?
say it
Like,
like that,
at
it makes
least on
perfect
this
sense.
branch here,
Yeah.
there was a
Mhm.
stop right there.
Right.
Right.
So I think that would be the best, the more vigilant thing for
That's
me.
the more. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that it stopped.
That makes sense.
And see, I've always just wondered if something happened to him. I've always just wanted to know for my well-being, and I've asked him more recently than not, and the answer was no. Do I believe it? I don't know.
Right.
Did I care enough to keep digging for it? No.
Nah.
At this point, it really doesn't matter. But I remember being just about that age, maybe 6 or 7 years old. And the first time I heard God's voice, and he said, "You are the last line." Like, I'm laying in my bed, and he's like, "You're the last line." And I'm like, "What does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
You're the last line." I don't know what that means, but it gave me some type of comfort because I figured it had something to do with my dad. But I still didn't know what does that mean. And the more that I grow and the more that I tell my story, and I've never been, probably because I went to counseling young, I've never been ashamed or too shy to tell. I will tell, if you don't want to listen, you ain't got to listen. But if you like to leave, something, I will sit and talk to you until you don't want to hear it no more.
Yeah.
Because I feel comfortable enough to tell my story, because I believe that with me telling you and giving you the raw truth of it,
Yeah.
if you're going through it or if you think something is going on, you can feel it. Like, and you can know that I'm not just going to tell you something to just tell you something.
Right. For no good reason. Yeah.
For no good reason at all.
Right.
But and with me wondering about if something happened to him, it could have.
Right.
He was one of 18 children. Wow. They had a whole lot of kids. And we used to go visit all the time. This is before it was reported and everything. We would go visit that side of the family and everything all the time. And like my grandfather, he lived with us for some time. I have a really good memory. That's the thing about it, though.
Yep.
I can almost give you almost to the month date of anything that's ever happened.
Yep. If it was, yep.
To me,
if it was a meaningful part of your life, that's so true.
Right. I honestly cannot say that my grandfather, my father's father, did anything to me ever.
Right.
And we were tight like this. We were super tight. So it could have been somebody else. It could have been an uncle, or, you know what I'm saying? If that was the case.
Yeah.
And in more recent years, I have gone and reconnected with that side of the family. And I already had my reservations because of what I made up in my head. And I went to a family reunion, been about 5 or 6 years ago now. And I wanted to go because I wanted to go. But God had already given me closure on some things that I had been working on. I can't tell you how happy I am that I went, because I made up the story in my head about that whole side of the family was just like him. But I made that up. He never said that. Nobody ever said that to me. I had no reason to believe that because no one in that side of the family had done anything to me. And when I tell you, as soon as I got up in the mountains, it felt like home. When they embraced me, I was like, oh, these are my, like going how Alex Haley, when he said he went back to Africa, he was like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at home. Those are my people. I had aunts and uncles like, where have you been? We've been looking for you. And I'm like, I'm right here. I've been at the same place. I mean, there's no telling what he told them.
Right.
But they still remembered me and were still concerned about me. And they were still trying to find me. And I had never, for the most part, until a couple years ago, you could still find me pretty easily.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't live in Indianapolis anymore.
Yeah.
So there's no telling what he said, and I was just like, well, here's my phone number now. You got it. You can,
Right.
you can keep up with me now.
It's been the
So
same.
they had
for
all these
years
great
and
memories
years.
of me and about how I used to be when I was little and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't remember that, but thanks for loving me.
Right.
So, I mean,
Right.
I don't know.
Like,
And
I used to be this little high.
me had
That's what they
to
always
have
Run
say.
around and do this and all that.
Yes. Yep.
So that's just a part of my story. I used to dwell in that, and that was me. That's not me. That's something that happened to me.
Right.
And so I am not, I'm no longer a victim. After lots and lots of work now, it ain't no overnight. I am a survivor, but I am still always on ready, set. No, I'm not on ready, set no more. I'm usually most of the time on ready.
Mess
You
with
gotta
her
set and
kids
go.
and she'll be on ready, set, go.
Well, if it's with my, if it's with my
Don't mess with
kids
them babies.
or my husband
Yep.
or my mama, I'm gonna be on ready, set, go.
Yep.
Like that's just the bottom line to it. But too many things
Absolutely.
don't trigger me there. But then I found myself, especially with my oldest son, being over the smother mother, the helicopter mom, being overprotective of everything. No wonder he ain't trying to come back from LA because I ain't let that boy breathe. I'm like, my job is to protect you.
Protect.
And
Yeah.
I'm a lioness. That's what I'm gonna do. You
Right.
gonna be fed and you gonna be protected.
That's
daggone.
right.
And
That's right. They're gonna have to come through me before they
Yeah.
get to you.
and even
That's
my
right.
husband said when we first started dating, he was like, I didn't even know if I was gonna ever get to be in this. He was like, you.
Yep.
He was like, you don't have to do all that now. I'm here, and I'm like, what that mean?
Yes, I remember that
So
conversation
I had
too.
to learn to let my guard down, and it's okay to trust. But that was a whole lot of work. Me and God, we
Yeah.
didn't have to have some conversations, and he know I'm crazy, and he know I talk to him just like this. I'm like, look,
Yep. Now, Lord, what you trying to
I know
say
you
here?
said this. I ain't feeling it. You got to show me some signs, some wonders, and everything, or you got to work on something because I can't. I just can't do it. Like I physically cannot just be like, oh yeah, just trust them. No. Nope. I'll trust you with me before I trust you with my kids. Tell you that.
Yeah. The other thing that I think too was significant was after people read the
Absolutely.
book, and you guys need to get the book again, lionessvisions.net, Amazon, for your whatever device you have, whatever you like to use, you can go to Amazon and look up the book right there, Revealing and Healing 3 Women's Stories of Survival. I remember after people read the book, they were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that all of you guys were dealing with some of these same issues. Delina was molested. I was molested. Angel was sexually assaulted, and we all have dealt with some type of sexual issues, sexual assault, these issues. And more people, a lot of people would come to us and call us and email us and say, hey, I'm dealing with the same thing. It made me sick to my stomach because I'm like, who's taking care of the
Right.
kids? Who's taking care
Right.
of the kids? And if I look at the new numbers, that says 1 in 4. So we stand in a group with 50 people. How many we have that have been molested? We stand in a group with 20 people. We got 5 people that's been molested, and it shouldn't be. So how does this cycle continue? Like you said, with us, we stopped the cycle. How many other families won't stop the cycle? How many other families are protecting the molester? I know people that do that too. Oh,
Yep.
he molested them. We're gonna just chill in the family. We're gonna talk about it in the family, and now it's just don't talk about it. And that's mess.
I'm a
mess.
daggone whistleblower. I don't speak up about too many things, but daggone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's another thing was really weird about that is that, like, especially in our community, we are so protective over
The predators.
this
Foolery.
persona
Absolutely.
that our families are
Perfect.
have, you know,
Yep.
and we don't want to let people into our families because they're just being nosy. And of
Right.
course, I'm using all of these quotes.
Oh yeah.
Because it's really hard for our community to really acknowledge and recognize and
Yep.
do something about
Right.
that ordeal, because it happens. I mean, it's crazy. I did a sexual assault campaign a couple of years ago for Women Reaching Out. It's an organization headed up by this wonderful woman named Elizabeth Utterback. She's a phenomenal woman. And I was a part of that. And for every day in April, there were women coming on. It was like a telephone, a teleseries. And every day there was a different woman coming on to tell her story about being molested as a child or sexually assaulted by a boyfriend or anything like that. And what the real thing that really hit me though was there was a man, one guy at the end of that, who spoke of his own molestation. And to me, that was really powerful, because once we can talk about it and we can get that out in the open, then that's where the healing actually begins. Let's talk about this, because this is prevalent in our neighborhoods. You know, y'all see the old man at the corner in his Cadillac watching all little girls get out of school bus.
Yes.
And he gonna see me pop up in his window.
Yeah.
Right. Or you see the baller who's up at the high school.
Yep.
He no good and grown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he has some money. He's
predators as well.
He's a molester.
Yeah.
He is. He's not good for these young ladies. Y'all see them. When you see those type of men, y'all need to report that. You know what I mean? That needs to be reported and stop being so accepting of that. You know, and
Why
I
are
think
you
that
protecting
somehow
them?
another
Protect the kids. Why are you protecting predators?
Right.
And
Right.
Delina
And
made a point. Say what you had said, Delina. I think
you know,
I said there's some women predators as well. It ain't just men.
Right.
There's women predators as well.
Absolutely.
I don't get it any of it, but anyway. And there's also in my particular instance, I guess the bad part of being in counseling and being around other girls who had been through my similar situation, I thought it was normal.
Yeah.
Everybody I knew had been molested, raped, sexually assaulted. And this is elementary school through high school.
Right.
The majority of my friends or my counseling groups or my people, even my other friends who weren't in counseling, they would tell me stuff because they knew I had already gone through it. And I'm just like, so this is what people do? So forever, I did not want to have children. Why did I not want to have children? Not because I didn't want children, because I didn't want nobody molesting them.
Right. Yes.
And so my older sister, she has 6 kids, right? So she had her first daughter. I was happy because I really, really just wanted to be aunt. But me and her had made a pact after we had told about my father. Me and her had made a pact. We are not having no kids, blah, 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 blah. Then she got pregnant. I was like, okay, it's cool. We can protect this one, right?
One of them.
Then she got another one. I was like, all right, we got these 2. I was like, hold up. Then I had my son, and I was like, oh Lord, this 4 kids.
We gotta protect all these kids.
Like, I can't be protecting all these kids. Like, what's going on? And guess what? That's not even my responsibility.
And listen, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Delina, it was forever before Delina had her second child after her first. Forever. It was a long time. You know, and I think you might have still been dealing with it. Like, nope, I got this one. I'm protecting this one.
Yeah. I mean, and I take that role so seriously. Like, there's this running joke between me and my husband. If something happened to the kids, somebody do something to our kids, which one of us going to go to jail?
Duh.
One of us gonna go to jail.
Both of y'all gonna be in jail now. You know.
No, because we both can't be in jail. Because if we both went in jail, who gonna take care of the kids?
Y'all will be in jail. Call Nitra.
What? So one of us got to stay. So one of us got to pull back on the killer squad.
No.
I mean, because what? Like,
it's gonna be a Brooker massacre, and that person's gonna be 6 feet deep.
I can't. I'm too cute to go.
It's
But
to
yeah,
gonna
I
be,
just
it's,
and then
it's gonna be a wrap. I
and
mean,
then
I
I have
might.
another
It's gonna be,
question too. When you had Sade, did you go back to some of those feelings having a daughter? Not that boys can't be
yes.
molested too, but did you
Oh
go back
yeah.
to that feeling? Hmm.
Oh, me and God had to talk
Yeah.
because with the boys with the boys, and I was just like, okay, I can deal with this.
Right.
And because I'm a girl and I know guys who have been molested, and a lot
Yeah.
of guys won't talk about it
Oh
because it makes
no.
them people view them as feminine or gay
Yes.
because they were molested. That does not make you gay.
Right.
You're gay because you're gay,
Right.
not because and predators may prey on people who they see who are gay, so it'd be easier to get
Right.
to them. But
Right.
that doesn't make you gay. That's not.
No.
It's not even. That's a whole nother story.
It
But
is.
when I went to get my ultrasound and they were like, "It's a girl," and I was like, "Check it again. It's just little." And that's exactly how I was looking at the doctor. She was like, "No." And every how you go every month. Every month I would like check it again. I need another ultrasound. And they were like, "Delana, no, Miss Brooker." I was like, "No." And then she came out crying like a girl and everything. I was like, "Jesus, you think you funny?" We had to have a talk. And I was like, look, this is more than I can
You
bear.
ain't got no sense.
Like, no, I was so serious, and I was like, you can't make it be a boy now
Right.
before she's born. Like, oh, I was on the struggle bus for 9 whole months.
Mhm.
Like, and even afterwards, and I was like, you think you funny. This is a joke.
Right.
God got jokes. God's got jokes.
Absolutely
Let me
does.
tell you.
Absolutely.
Because he will give you just what you think you could not handle. And when I tell you though, my daughter, she's everything I ever wanted to be. And she speaks up for anything so adamantly. She's very well spoken. If she don't like it, she gonna tell you why she don't like it. She gonna give you the A to the Z of it. And she's gonna come back and she gonna tell me, she gonna tell her daddy, she gonna call her nana on the phone, and she gonna tell her teacher, and she gonna tell her coach.
I love it.
And I love it because she drives me crazy. I call her little baby news reporter. But I love it because I don't like the boys. I would have to, what happened and who did this and what were they wearing?
Pull it out. Yeah, no details.
And I was so mad because so and so, and he's in the 3rd grade and blah blah blah. Yeah, and she'll tell everything. And then she speaks up for herself immediately.
Right.
Even with her teacher, she was like, "No, that is not my answer." Is the teacher told her her math question was her answer on her math thing was wrong, and she was like, "No, it's not. How is it wrong?" She's in the 4th grade, y'all. This is
You didn't challenge the teacher, did you, Sade?
He was in the 3rd grade at the time. And so the teacher was like, no, she was like, no, this is not wrong. You have to show me why this is wrong. And so she came home. She was pissed off. She got off the bus and you could just see it in her face. And I was like, well, what's wrong? She was
What
like,
happened?
that teacher, I'm not going to get to go to a good college because she's marking my paper red and some. And I told her, and can you look at this and see? And so I looked at it and I was like, no, it's right. I said, you were right, Sade. And I said, and you don't ever just let go for what anybody says. So if the teacher's wrong, I said, you were right to ask her, why is it wrong? But it was a substitute teacher. So when your regular teacher comes back,
yeah,
you go in and you show her and she'll fix your grade. She was like, I don't like them red dots. I don't like that on my paper.
She said they messing with my college. I would have fell out.
She was like, I'm not going to get into a good college because I got one wrong. And she feels by her grades. But nobody ever told me that I had to be silent. Nobody ever told me that. I made that up. Probably because I was told to keep a secret, and then I kept having to keep a secret.
Yep.
I made that up. Nobody told me that. And so once I found my voice, I didn't shut up.
Right.
But when I should have been talking, there's a whole lot that I ain't never talked about.
Yep.
Just because I put it in this little compartment. We're just going to sit with it over here. But she will speak up. So, and partially probably because she got her daddy in her,
Oh, really? It's only him, huh?
He's unfiltered. No, but see, I would have never, even the stuff she says to me, I would have never
said to your mom.
felt okay to say it. Like I would have thought it.
Right.
But I would have never said. But I love that she
laugh so bad. She's thinking of all the Sade memories. And I'm glad we're laughing, guys, because this topic was so heavy.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're laughing. And Angel's thinking of Sade's stories right now. I can see her face. So God gives you what you need. God gives you what you need. You were scared of having this little girl, but God literally gave you what you need. Somebody mess with Sade, it's gonna be curtains for them, not her.
Girl, I'm trying to, and she tells him too. She be like, "What you're not gonna do is keep talking crazy." She told little boy at the track meet just Saturday, "What you're not gonna do is keep talking crazy to me, because I will go off on you, and then I will tell my daddy, and then my mama." And she was like, "And my brother's right here too. You don't want none of this." And I was like, I didn't have to say nothing. And the little boy left her alone.
So she's like, you don't want none. Don't
catch these hands if you want. Catch these hands if you want to. Now I would fight though. And how Rasha, you were saying that you would physically, like, I fought everybody but the person I was supposed to fight. So when I would come with a confrontation that I should have been fighting for, I didn't. But on the playground,
Same as me.
in the hallway, you look at me wrong. Yep. Like, you can't walk up behind me. To this day, you can't just walk up behind me and I don't know you coming. Don't try to sneak up behind me because it's gonna be a problem.
Yep.
Because she's always in my back pocket. She always in my back pocket. I don't think she ever gonna leave, and I'm cool with that stuff.
She's needed. She's needed. At some point, she might be needed.
She has been pulled out.
Oh, I know.
Absolutely.
I know.
Needed and when not needed. So.
Y'all already know that discussion, so I don't got to bring it up. How I know that that's in her back pocket. I know. Me, Rasha, I know. Angel needed too. I know.
You see my face?
I'm just glad to be alive and in one piece.
You're so silly. Don't call her out unless you want to meet her. Don't call her out.
I tried to push Angel the other day on the cruise, and I realized it would have never happened. She's like,
never would have made it.
Never would have made it. Would have got beat up. Jumped, okay? Jumped. I don't want none of Delina or Angel. No.
Oh, she's so silly. You are silly. But no, this is a good conversation.
Yeah.
And I think we've addressed everybody who's watching or has commented.
Now, y'all folks come see this video later. Y'all would watch this video later. Please comment. Just because you see it later tonight, tomorrow, still comment. We'll still respond to the comments. So,
and if you've missed something, still go back and watch the other ones. Like I said, you can look at it on Facebook on the Lioness Vizions with a Z, Vizions page. Or you can go to YouTube, just YouTube Lioness Vizions, and they're all there in order. So if you miss something, we're not talking about the same subjects every day. It's always something. Every week is something different. So yeah. Well, I try to test this video out again to share for one of our supporters of the visual series, but it's not doing audio. So I just think it's something stupid with these smart apps that they can do everything but show an audio of a video that we're playing. So I'm going to post that in the link, and then I'll post it on my page separately. But I want to thank my boy Beanie for helping out, coming through, making a special appearance. He is an indie rap spoken word artist.
Cool.
He is super, super talented. He also goes to our church, Golden Memorial United Methodist Church in Douglasville, where Dr. Reverend Gregory Williams is our pastor. And he works with the youth a lot in the youth ministry, and he's also in the dance ministry. So you might see me post something with the kids dancing at school. When I tell you at church, when I tell you them, they be getting it, and that's Beanie. And Joy is behind it too, but Beanie was part of the production. So, and we've done some music together as well. So I will post up all his information. Go check him out on SoundCloud and YouTube and all that other kind of good stuff. And thank you, Beanie. Love you. And before I forget,
right?
Beanee.
Okay.
And then, like, that's his handle for some things, and Beanie Boy with the I, BOI, is his handle for other stuff. But it'll all be in the video link where you can find it. And before I forget, my birthday is this weekend, and Angel's birthday is next week. I'm going to be 25, okay? I'm going to be 25. If you want to give us anything for our birthday, you can either buy a book if you have not.
Absolutely.
And or, Lita just commented. Let's see. Hey, bestest. And or you can make a donation to one of the organizations that we have been highlighting. So there's Delivered Vessel, Chandra Southern. I know some people have gone to, who live here on our side of town, have gone to B&B Fish and Wings. And I started Tiana was calling. She's like, wait a minute, I need to know where it is. And she called as soon as she got off of work, and she was like, girl, these wings are good. Oh my goodness.
And they look so good. I was like, somebody send me some to Dallas.
I said, I want some, but I'm on the fast, so I gotta keep my greedy girl.
Oh, man.
subdued because I'm on the fast. I was like,
Till
"Seriously,
Easter?
I get off this fast?" Yeah.
Dang.
Well, I might be eating chicken wings instead of ham on Easter. But and there's also going to be another one coming up that we show next week that you guys can donate to. And these are nonprofits.
Cool.
B&B Fish and Wings is not a nonprofit, but Delivered Vessels is a nonprofit. Chandra specifically deals with domestic violence, women who are victims of domestic violence and exploited children.
Okay.
So those are very near and dear to all of our hearts. So that's why
Yes.
I kind of lined up with the people who do that. Let's see. And some of the others that we will discuss, they do mentoring for young youth and children as well. So if you've already have the book, make a $5, $10 donation to these organizations.
Mm-hmm.
I know firsthand, I've seen it firsthand, how they have stretched $1. I've been there volunteering with them, feeding people, clothing people. Every little bit helps. So if everybody
Right.
$10, whatever, I mean, it's tax season. You can do 20 and not be hurting about it.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already got the book, get the book, of course. But it's not even about all of that. That will take care of itself. And Courtney said, "Hey, Lita, my best friends are talking to each other."
Aww.
Thank you,
They're
Maya.
talking about what they're gonna get you for your birthday. That's what it is.
Yeah, my niece said,
Look at
"Happy
your
25th
niece.
again."
Lies.
At least it's good for 25.
Lies. Lies. Somebody put in the comments how old Devon is, Delina's oldest son.
Okay, so this is the thing, and this is what he asked me. He says, "Well, Mama, how old are you gonna be when I turn 25?" I was like,
25.
He was like, "Well, how are you gonna explain that?"
Devon is
More than one
22.
person can be 25 at the same time. Like, I don't know why you think this is a problem. Like, we just gonna both be 25.
She said that like they're twins. More than one person can be 25 at the same time. Yeah, twins.
Yeah, like, and
Delina's gonna be 25 when she's 85.
I'm just trying to tell you,
She's
I
gonna
have
be 60 and be 20.
She's gonna be in her walker.
I've got some good genes. My great grandmother lived to be 102.
True.
My great aunt lived to be 102. My grandmother just turned 96, I believe.
Lord Jesus, that's a blessing.
I believe she just turned 96. It's not 97.
That's a
So
blessing.
I will be forever young. So when I decide to turn 26, I'll let y'all know.
Never. I can't
will let
stand
you
her,
know.
y'all. I cannot.
So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining. She's talking about class of 96. Courtney's silly.
That's right.
No, it's
Do the
class
math.
of
My baby right there. Hey, Tiana.
It's class of 90 here.
So I want to thank everybody again for joining us. We will all be back again next week.
Absolutely.
Same time, different subject, different topics and things to talk about. So share the video if you haven't already as well. And thank you again. We love you guys and see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Toodles.